Title: Reunited on the Track. Chapter 1: The Separation. The three brothers, Rain, Sam, and Arvi, were inseparable until tragedy struck. A terrible storm led to an accident that left them orphaned and alone. Taken to an orphanage, they were soon separated, each finding a different path in life. Rain, the eldest, was never adopted and worked his way through high school, later becoming a mechanic. Sam was discovered by a CEO of a sports car company and became an F1 racer. The youngest, Arvi, was taken in by a wealthy tycoon and grew up in luxury. None of them knew where the others had ended up, their pasts buried under the weight of their new lives. Rain had always looked after his younger brothers, even at the orphanage, but when Sam and Arvi were adopted, he was left behind. The pain of losing them haunted him every day. He had tried to search for them, but with no leads, he was forced to focus on survival. Meanwhile, Sam grew up in a world of speed and thrill, embracing the life of a racer. Arvi, on the other hand, was molded into the perfect heir, his life filled with board meetings and business discussions. Though they had no memories of each other, they all felt an emptiness they couldn't explain. Chapter 2: Rain's Struggle. Rain had always been strong, but life was a constant battle. As a mechanic, he worked long hours just to make ends meet. He dreamed of racing but knew he could never afford to get into the sport. However, an opportunity came knocking when he was asked to test drive a high-end car for a wealthy businessman, a man who happened to be Arvi's adoptive father. Oblivious to the connection, Rain took the job, unaware that fate was about to change his life forever. Every day, Rain would wake up before sunrise, preparing himself for another grueling day at the auto shop. He had mastered fixing engines, fine-tuning suspensions, and testing high-performance vehicles. Yet, he longed to be behind the wheel as a driver, not just a mechanic. His skills caught the attention of an executive looking for a reliable test driver. Rain eagerly accepted, hoping this would be his one chance to experience real speed. Little did he know, the car he was about to drive belonged to the empire that raised his youngest brother. One person who kept him going was Mia, a racetrack girl who worked as a promotional model and pit lane assistant. She admired Rain's dedication and often encouraged him to chase his dreams. They shared a strong bond, with Rain secretly in love with her. However, Mia was also admired by another man, Sam, who had no idea that Rain was her boyfriend. Chapter 3: Sam's Success. Sam had everything he could ask for. He had been adopted by a billionaire who owned a racing company, providing him with the resources to train as a professional F1 racer. He had won multiple championships and was seen as a legend in the making. Despite his success, he felt an unexplainable void in his heart. Something was missing, but he couldn't quite figure out what it was. Every time he sat in the cockpit, helmet on, hands gripping the steering wheel, the roar of the engine brought him excitement but also a sense of loneliness. His adoptive father pushed him to be the best, yet he felt like there was something else he was supposed to remember. He brushed the feeling aside, focusing on his upcoming race, unaware that the past was about to catch up with him in the most unexpected way. During one of his events, Sam met Mia and was instantly drawn to her. She was unlike the other track girls, exuding confidence and warmth. He found himself seeking her attention, completely unaware of her relationship with Rain. His growing feelings for her would later cause friction when the truth was revealed. Chapter 4: Arvi's Privileged Life. Arvi grew up in a world of wealth and luxury. He never wanted for anything, but deep inside, he always felt out of place. His adoptive father had high expectations of him, pushing him into business rather than racing. Yet, something about fast cars fascinated him. He yearned to break free from the corporate world and into the world of speed, unknowingly drawn toward the very thing that connected him to his lost brothers. Despite having access to everything money could buy, Arvi felt trapped. He was groomed to take over his father's empire, expected to follow a path that never felt right. His father disapproved of racing, considering it reckless and unworthy of their family's stature. Still, Arvi secretly attended races, fascinated by the sheer adrenaline and skill involved. One day, he convinced his father to let him visit the company's test track, a decision that would lead him to an encounter he never saw coming. Another person who added complexity to his life was Sophia, his girlfriend. She was intelligent, kind, and had an undeniable love for motorsports. However, what Arvi didn't know was that Sophia was Sam's stepsister. Their relationship had always been a secret due to their family's strict expectations, but fate would soon bring everything into the light. Arvi also had a best friend, Una, a spirited and sharp-witted girl who had always supported him. Una secretly harbored feelings for Rain, admiring his resilience and strength from afar. However, as time passed, she found herself drawn to Sam instead, especially after seeing his passionate drive and hidden vulnerability. Their relationship would evolve unexpectedly, adding another layer of complexity to the tangled fates of the brothers. Chapter 5: The Unfortunate Crash. Rain's test drive led him onto a racing track where professional racers trained. Coincidentally, Sam was practicing for an upcoming race. Arvi, curious about his father's business, was there as well. Fate played its hand when Rain lost control of the car and crashed into Sam's Ferrari, causing a chaotic scene that brought the three together in an unfortunate but fateful moment. As Rain climbed out of the wreckage, he was met with Sam's furious glare. "You have any idea what you just did?" Sam shouted, approaching Rain aggressively. Arvi, standing by, recognized his father's car and immediately assumed Rain was an irresponsible test driver. "You're going to have to answer for this," he said coldly. The tension was thick, but none of them realized just how intertwined their destinies were. The meeting was nothing short of a disaster, setting the stage for rivalry rather than reunion. Meanwhile, Mia rushed to the scene, concerned for Rain. Seeing the way she touched Rain's arm, Sam felt an unexpected pang of jealousy. The realization that she was with Rain only deepened the growing tension between the two. At the same time, Sophia, who had come to support Arvi, noticed Sam from a distance. Her heart pounded. If Sam found out about her relationship with Arvi, things could get complicated fast. Meanwhile, Una, who had always admired Rain, couldn't help but feel conflicted seeing him with Mia. However, as fate would have it, her heart would later turn toward Sam, leading to a romantic entanglement neither of them had expected. Chapter 6: Rivalry Ignites. Instead of an emotional reunion, the crash only fueled tensions. Sam was furious at Rain for damaging his prized car, while Arvi, feeling protective of his father's assets, confronted Rain for his reckless driving. The three immediately became rivals, their clashes escalating into a professional F1 competition to prove who was the best. The brothers, still unaware of their true connection, pushed themselves to the limit. Sam and Rain clashed both on and off the track, their rivalry intensified by Mia's presence. Meanwhile, Arvi struggled with his growing attraction to racing, defying his father's expectations. As emotions ran high, secrets from their past started unraveling, threatening to change their lives forever. Chapter 7: The Birthmark Revelation. During a heated press conference after a race, a journalist brings up a peculiar detail: each of the three rivals has a nearly identical birthmark. At first, they dismiss it as coincidence, but curiosity gnaws at them. Mia, noticing their similarities, pushes Rain to investigate further. Arvi and Sam, still reluctant to acknowledge any connection, resist the idea. When Sophia and Una dig into Arvi's and Sam's pasts, they discover shocking documents. Each of them was adopted from the same orphanage. One night, Rain, restless from the revelation, confronts Sam. The argument turns physical, but as they scuffle, their birthmarks are exposed. Arvi walks in at that moment, stunned. Reality hits them hard. They are not just rivals, they are brothers. Chapter 8: Emotional Wreckage. Though the truth is out, the brothers struggle to accept it. Sam, feeling betrayed by his adoptive family, lashes out, pushing everyone away, including Una. Arvi, overwhelmed by the expectations placed upon him, considers giving up his inheritance altogether. Rain, though excited to finally reunite, feels bitterness toward the wealth and privilege his brothers had while he suffered alone. Mia and Sophia try to mend the broken bonds, but tensions only rise. Una, caught between her lingering feelings for Rain and her growing connection with Sam, is forced to pick sides. Brothers spiral into chaos, their unresolved emotions threatening to tear them apart once more. Chapter 9: The Grand Prix Showdown. A major F1 event brings them back to the track, where their rivalry reaches its peak. Each of them enters the race with their own motivations, Rain determined to prove himself, Sam fueled by anger, and Arvi desperate to find his own identity outside of his father's expectations. Mia watches anxiously, fearing that their battle will end in disaster. Sophia pleads with Arvi to race safely, while Una, unsure of her place, cheers for Sam. The competition is fierce, each brother pushing their limits. Just as the race nears its climax, a massive crash occurs. In a shocking moment, Sam's car spirals out of control, heading toward a deadly impact. Rain, acting on instinct, sacrifices his position to save his brother, crashing into the barrier to stop Sam's car. Arvi, witnessing the selfless act, realizes how much they truly mean to each other. Chapter 10: The True Victory. Sam wakes up in the hospital, guilt washing over him. Rain, bruised but alive, jokes about how reckless he was. The moment softens Sam's heart, and he finally acknowledges their bond. Arvi, standing by their bedside, makes a bold declaration: he's stepping down from his father's company to pursue racing, his true passion. Una, seeing the change in Sam, decides to fully embrace her feelings for him. Mia, relieved that Rain is safe, tells him she loves him for the first time. Sophia, though torn between her family and Arvi, chooses love over expectations. With their relationships mended, the three brothers, no longer rivals, decide to race again, not for competition, but as family.